Hey everyone, just out here on this 4th of July weekend at this little river here. Very pretty. Probably do some swimming here when it heats up. But I want to ask, head on straight, I want to ask a very important question. How are we to resist the mark of the beast if we're not able to resist the mask of the beast? So right now is a good time to get practice and training in what you will do when the mark of the beast is implemented. And it could be very, very soon, guys. It could be as soon as September, October, or at least a portion of it. And if you haven't been preparing for this day, I feel really bad for you. But there are folks that are new Christians that are maybe just now waking up. And I want to encourage you to have faith in the Lord. Walk by faith, not by sight. Carry yourself as a man or a woman, not as a citizen or a person or a title. And if you believe God is real, you have to believe He sees you, and you have to believe He knows what you're going through. I want to encourage you to take this opportunity to resist the mask of the beast. It's difficult. You can't even go into Walmart to buy basic supplies. That's one of the issues. That's one of the problems with having all the mom and pop businesses shut down and just a couple major organizations, major companies throughout the world that are in charge of all the food supply, all the clothing, anything that you really need to survive on a daily basis is controlled by a select few major corporations who are typically ran by liberal CEOs and are really quick to enforce and enact these rules that are handed down from local governments, state governments, even the federal government. They're very quick. They're not going to resist. So if the government says everybody has to have a mask, they're not going to resist that because they don't want to be shut down. The government already showed them what would happen if they don't comply. All these businesses were shut down. So many businesses almost went under, and a lot did already go under because of this. So you have to trust in the Lord, and you have to get creative, and you have to figure out how you're going to do this. If you have to spend more money to pay a service to bring the food to you, I believe the Lord will protect that, and He'll supply that extra money for you. That because you're doing this out of faith. This takes more faith than anything. That's why I'm very critical on people that call themselves Christians, or people that like to quote, "We're saved by grace through faith," because I want them to understand to have faith is a very difficult thing. So not to be so quick to quote that verse, but rather take the time to self-examine themselves and to self-expose that they do have a lack of faith. And any Christian that has ever been pro-police, pro-government should really be ashamed, because now what are you going to do? You're going to have to literally reject the orders of the governor and not wear the mask. Some people are looking at this video and they're saying, "What are you talking about? We don't see anything like that." Trust me, it's coming to you. And it's worse if you have a Republican governor, which is why the liberals are very clever. They let the Republicans do their dirty work, and it works every time. Because when the Republicans do it, the Republican people who would normally be against it, they're kind of shut up. What can they say? What can they do? It's their own person enacting these draconian rules. I've witnessed this in Florida. I've witnessed this in Texas. Even Donald Trump, I've witnessed this through. And for some reason, these people continue, out of their own shame, to support these corrupt and crooked politicians. It doesn't really matter what title they have. They're all corrupt and they're all crooked. I think there might be a good representative out of Kentucky. He was resisting the $6.2 trillion stimulus that Donald Trump signed. But that's an exception to the rule. It's a very, very, very rare exception to the rule. And from my experience, politicians that can't be bought out don't last very long. They get ousted really quick. They bring charges against them and they get locked up in a federal prison for some time, or until they're ready to comply. So now is the time to resist the mask of the beast, in preparation to resist the mark of the beast. And we have to maybe accept the fact that we may have to die. But I believe in it strong enough to know that my image was given to me in the likeness of God, by God. And I'm not going to cover it. And the fact that wicked and evil people want me to cover it, all the more reason not to. So we'll see how long things go. We'll see. Right now the Lord keeps getting me by. I'm able to buy from stores. It gets more and more difficult, because each time you do it, you're basically 1 in 1,000 or even 10,000 that attempt to resist, because everyone else just goes with the flow because it's easier. It's the path of least resistance. And the world we live in is a world of comfort and sin and what feels good to me and what's the least resistance that I can get. And so that's why everybody just complies, because it's easier to comply. But if you comply now, you'll comply later, guaranteed. I've done some prepping. I don't have a bunker. I don't have land. I don't have a farm. I've done what I could when I could. And I have faith the Lord will get me through this. And we'll see what happens, I guess. But it's go time, guys. It's now or never. This is it. It's here. It's finally happening. All the prophecies are coming to fruition right here and now. I believe that if we repented and if we sought the Lord, that He could restore us. But I don't believe that will happen. And once again, I hope I am wrong. Alright guys, God bless.